And this time round, helping over 7,000 families and refugees is a move that we will continue to commend.
I also wish to acknowledge on behalf of the government, the humanitarian efforts of the African Muslim Agency towards the disaster relief, among other humanitarian efforts. I want to assure you, from the Secretary General, that the government will continue to support the efforts of your agency.
Imam Abdullah Fati of State House Mosque also expressed appreciation of the good work the agency is doing in the country. This is the latest move by the African Muslim Agency to help in improving the Muslim education in the country. For GRTS News, I am Fatou Jassi.
The implementation period of the GEEP project has ended, but communities are still receiving assistance from the scheme conceived to aid farmers. The community of Ngayen Sanjal is the latest to receive a donation of a device capable of reducing post-harvest losses from GEEP. Louis Mendy reports.
The latest to join a list of 40 communities nationwide to be donated a post-harvest loss saving device, courtesy of the Phased Out GEEP, a project credited for impacting significantly on the lives of over 60 communities across the country.
So we are here today to support the women of Ngayen Sanjal with a rice milling machine as a labor-saving device for milling.
With this machine, considerable post-harvest losses usually incurred using the crude way of milling rice would be a thing of the past in Ngayen Sanjal. The development is worth of celebrating, said Mariama Sise, as he received the gift on behalf of our mates.
This community, the GEEP was not, this project was not intervening in that community, but I mean, they've been appealing to be supported. And we are also answering to the call of the Women's, Bureau and Office of Device, who are always advocating for support for women. And as you know, the President of the Republic, His Excellency, said, Dr. Professor Yahya AJJ Jammeh, definitely attaches importance to the support and development of Gambian women. So if we are also following suit, we have to complement that effort.
40 communities previously benefited from similar generosity. Thus, this development, being the least of its kind since the expiry of the GEEP, further illustrates the story of a project which phased out on paper, replaced by WAP, but continues to impact on the life of potential beneficiaries.
I will call it, this is a bonus. We have been saying this over and over. When we said at the tail end of GEEP, we realized savings, instead of using those savings, which we are even realized from operational costs, and instead of plowing it back into operational activities, we said this during nationwide, handing over ceremonies of such devices, and when we were inaugurating village seed stores. We said that. We said, well, those savings we have to plow back directly to the beneficiaries, not to be utilized by, we the implementing partners and the PCU team. We said this, so this is in a bid to, in the same vein, it's in the same vein. If you plowing back the last, saving of that phased out project to, the most privileged, that's the women, our mothers, our sisters, and who are very hardworking as far as agricultural production and productivity.
Recipients of the machine were all to prioritize its maintenance. Women are the dominant producers of rice in this country, thus supporting them with time, labor, and post-harvest loss devices to maximize production and productivity remains prudent. Coincidentally, the precondition in the GEEP project document agreement signed between the donors and the government was that 40% of the targeted beneficiaries be the women folk, taking into account the drudgery they endure in agricultural production. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
Fundamental Islamic principles governing sharing during the month of Ramadan was the subject of a knowledge-sharing forum organized by the Federation of Gambian Muslim Student Organizations. Babakar Kamara reports on the program supported by Amar Ibu Yasin Islamic Studies Center.
As young Muslim faithfuls exchanging fundamental Islamic principles governing charity and other acts of benevolence during and after the month of Ramadan.
I think it is important for people to remind each other about our responsibilities as youths, as Muslims, as human beings, our responsibilities towards the nation development, our responsibility towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So by reminding people, it helps a lot. That's why every year, we also organize things. And also it is important to share and care. We learn from these activities how to share and care. People from abroad sometimes sponsor, sometimes our brothers here give something for people to come and enjoy themselves and to socialize and to also to learn more about our religion.
FEGAMSU, being the umbrella body of all school-based Islamic associations in English and Arabic-oriented schools, have many in our objectives, among which includes to promote moral and academic excellence among youths in the Gambia and beyond.
Their commitment to popularize the teachings of the Quran continue to be inspired by ardent Muslim scholars who have on critical topics beyond the scope of ordinary students.
We brought them forward in order to serve as source of inspiration for others. Like we are students, we are all youths. Some of us are teenagers, some are youths at tertiary institutions. As the first presenter, Alkali Kanyi, is in his 20s. He's just graduated from senior secondary school. He attended Bunjay Islamic Institute in Brikama here. We've seen how, and the very extent he went on dilating on spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Sheikh Ustaz Kebu Cham as well is a youth, probably in his 30s now, also dilated on life after Ramadan, stating that Islam is a complete way of life, not only a way of life that should be in us in Ramadan or instead of worship only in Ramadan, but should be extended beyond.
The knowledge sharing forum was followed by an iftar dinner aiming to teach Muslim students on their roles and responsibilities towards the Islamic faith, as well as current development in society. Babakar Kamara, GRTS.
The heavy downpour that inundated parts of the Greater Banjul area on Saturday has claimed 2 lives. Officials from the Office of the Vice President, National Disaster Management Agency and Kanifing Municipal Council have been touring the affected areas to survey the damage. Babakar Kamara again.
Sympathize and empathize with the affected families. My advice is, as we have always said, people should do everything possible not to build in swampy areas. They should also ensure that when they build infrastructure, when they build houses, they also have to have in mind that these houses some of them could be vulnerable, depending on the materials that are used to build those houses, as well as depending on the location of those houses. Where are those houses located?
They sad to mourn the untimely death of an 8-year-old boy following heavy rains and sudden thunders that is believed to have sparked the house of the Dickies, and his mother still under medical attention.
The winds came and found me inside. I heard the children crying outside. When I came out, I saw the mother of the deceased child lying unconscious. As we rescued her, we later realized the child was inside.
18th August 2012 is the first time again we are registering disaster, starting with a 12-year-old girl who was drowned. Again, we have our 8-year-old boy who has been affected by electric short circuit with the mother. We lost the boy and the mother sustained some injuries. We have so many houses that have lost their roofs, structural collapse. We have also seen the graveyard at Kalinding Sanchaba, where the graveyard has almost the 2 corners of the graveyard has all collapsed.
The scene grew stronger around Chokilstown, Talinding Johnson, where hundreds of passers-by stood to gather testimonies on the aftermath of the incident, when some gutters were equally said to have been opened. The impasse continues as 10 family households are said to be displaced by the winds, and heavy downpour.
When this thing happens,